All right, new this morning, new showing the credit scores are falling at this pace in the U.S. since the Great Recession, as I'm able to keep up with the rising cost of living. And it's Matt Egan for this. Doesn't sound good.
Yeah, no, John, it's not. It's more evidence that some Americans, they're hurting because of the high cost of living and because of the return of student loans. So FICO had found, on average, they increased every single year between 2013 and last year when they dipped. And today, FICO says there's an even bigger drop this year. As you mentioned, the biggest since 2009 during the Great Recession. Credit scores, they're still pretty high, moving in the wrong direction, in part because more and more Americans are falling behind on their bills. FICO says that delinquency rates are at or near the highest level since 2009 on car loans, credit cards, and also on personal loans as well. And Gen Z, they're under even more pressure. FICO says that credit scores for Gen Z down by the most of any age group since 2020. And part of that problem, of course, is student debt, right? Starting in February, they started to report delinquencies on student loans for the first time since COVID. And FICO has found that a record high 29% of people who have student debt have been reported as delinquent. Only 62% have actually made a recent payment. And look at this, another 9%, they could be reported delinquent soon because they have student debt, but they have not made any recent payments. And it's not just student debt, right? You think about young people also contending with the worst job market for recent college graduates in years. I talked to a 22-year-old from Orlando who told me it took him 14 months and hundreds of job applications before he landed a job that wasn't a scam. But he said he's not making nearly enough money to get by, let alone to chip away at his $35,000 in student debt. Wow. So he said his credit scores have taken a drastic hit. And he's not alone. FICO found that almost 2/3, 64% of Gen Z student borrowers, they rely on more debt just to get by. That's people who...
I'm going to stop it. Pause it for a second. All right, so I think we can all agree that college is a scam. You know, you go to college for X amount of years, you know, get your bachelor's and or your master's and or your doctor, your PhDs, and you end up on 250,000 or anything below that. You know, no less than 50,000 with some classes. And I think this is it's a serious matter for students. I think college is a scam. I think a trade I think you could be, you know, get a trade and make, you know, the same amount of money. It's 60 to 75,000, even 100,000 a year. You can actually, you might blue collar jobs. You can be your own boss and make 250 to $500,000 a year if you wanted to. So, like I said, college is a scam. But I'll continue. This is crazy. Never saw anything
who
like
have student debt, they've got to rely on credit cards and buy now, pay later, and also personal loans just to pay their bills. So, John, I do think this is just more evidence of the K-shaped economy, right? Where a lot of people who have money in the market, they own their home, they're doing okay, others are not, and it just shows this disconnect where you got Wall Street, there's all this euphoria. Main Street, though, a lot of people, they're struggling.
Just to be clear, when you don't have a good credit score, your credit score drops, everything just spirals. It makes it so much harder.
It makes it even more expensive to borrow.
Yeah, so like borrowing money. So basically what credit is like basically saying that you can borrow some money from the government. Hey, government, I need about 150,000 to put on this house. You know, your credit score 750. Hey, you know what, Mr. Johnson, why not? Here you go. Pay us back whenever. You know, pay us back, but pay us back whenever. Yeah. So basically, what they're talking about is that our average is currently dropping in 2025. Last month it was 715. Right now it's looking at a 701, which is that's a huge drop on average levels. Okay, so that basically saying that half of the Americans in the U.S. don't even have $400 in their pocket, and their credit is above the percentage of what you're supposed to spend on the credit card. For example, if you have a $1,500 limit and you decide to spend $750 on it, just like utilities and groceries or whatever. Well, you went past your 30% limit on that credit card. So therefore, you're in debt higher than most. Your limit has passed. You're not supposed to exceed 30%, past 30%, I'm sorry. And that's how you keep a good credit score. So your credit score will tend to drop and drop and drop the more you spend. You're not supposed to spend past that. So a good amount, let's just say your credit limit is 1,000 and you spend 250 and then you pay off that 250, monthly. You put $40 on it every month. Well, that's good spending, right? Because that percentage is under the 30% margin. So they're not coming at you and saying, hey, you can't afford to have this credit card, so we're going to lower your score. That's basically what they're saying. And that's what is lowering the average score, which is 701 currently in 2025. So this is a problem. Yeah, and they're talking about student loan debt. And yeah, I understand that. But just remember, folks, like if you're going to go to college, make sure you have an exit plan, because being in debt that severe is not good. Your life is going to be miserable when you get out, because you're still going to owe that money, and you're not even guaranteed the job that you're actually going for. You're not going to be able to get that job. Like 9 times out of 10, you're still going to have to work somewhere else before you can achieve that job. And it's not really what you know anymore. It's not really who you know anymore. It's like we don't even have room for you. That's basically what it is. So, guys, go to trade school, blue collar, plumber, electrician, get your CDLs, become an owner of your own business, your own company, and you won't have to worry about the situations. In college, they teach you how to brown nose. They teach you how to, try to please the employer. Become your own employer. There's ways around this. And be careful on your spending, because this is your credit. This is your life. This is your kid's life. Think about generational wealth. All this